Little roof is on fire. Little roof is on fire. We don't need no water, let the motherfucker burn. Burn, motherfucker, burn. What an awesome song, huh? Yeah. What's happening, viewer? Hey, Ashley, what's happening? On my way home. I had to work a little late today. I don't like having to work late, but you know, it's the end of the week, first of the month. That shit we had to get out the door, so I decided to work over a little bit so I could meet my quota. Not that I really have a quota, but what sound? It's probably my radio. How about that? Is the sound gone? Is that better? I don't know what sound. It's still there. Alright, Alright, how's that? Is that better? Turn the AC off. Might be picking up on the AC. How about that? It's the phone stand thingy. Yeah, what is it? Does it sound like it's like hitting or something? Bouncing? That sound? Let me see if I can fix this to where it doesn't do that. Alright, how's that? Alright, I'll get going in a minute. Yeah, bouncing. Yeah, I know, but I got a button on the back of this thing, and if it hits the plastic, hopefully I've got it in a good spot. If I hit the plastic piece, it'll make it drop. What's up, Hockey King? You're in the hospital. What are you in the hospital for? You doing all right? Hockey King? Are you watching the Stanley Cup playoffs? Hello, baddie Sarah. How are you doing this evening? Awesome tattoo. Thank you very much. I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan, if you can't tell. Yeah. JJCMC, what's up? How you doing? Yep, I see you in there. I can't do a lot of talking to you guys when I'm driving, but I'm at a stoplight right now, so I can at least say hello. I will do shout outs. If you want to shout out, I'll give you a shout out. That's one thing that, you know, I believe that when people tune into my channel, they tune in for a reason. And if they want me to give them a shout out, I will. So I've given, what, three or four people a shout out. Oh, your appendix, huh? Wow. Getting my appendix removed. Well, good luck with that. Do you actually play on a hockey team at this point? Or is that, or do you just, are you a big hockey fan? Yeah, much better, no bouncing. Okay, good. Shout out and you'll sub. Hello, Larry. What's happening? Yeah, like I say, I give shout outs to people. A lot of the other people won't do it. I just do it, you know, because I used to like get shout outs, you know, and when I was going to other people's channels and stuff like that. So, good. How are you? I'm doing all right, Larry. I'm driving home from work, and I'm gearing up for a big football game tonight. We have a UFL team here. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the UFL. It's a spring football league. They took the XFL and the USFL and they combined them. Now they're called the... Sure, Jasper Patton, you got your shout out. But back to Larry. Larry, they the two leagues merged a couple years ago, so they became the UFL. So we have a football team here in the St. Louis area called the Battlehawks, and they're playing the Arlington Renegades tonight. So we're going to that game. You're AAA hockey. Okay, you're a goalie. Oh, okay, cool. What team do you play for, Hockey King? I'm a huge Blues fan. I'm not sure if you're keeping up with the Stanley Cup playoffs, but I'm guessing if you're a hockey player, you probably are. You know, they're playing at home tonight. Boy, downtown St. Louis The Westchester Vipers. Okay, I'll have to look them up when I get home. Are you who are you a farm team for? Are you a Rangers fan? Okay. Who's the Westchester Vipers? Who are they the farm team for? We've got the let's see, Thunderbirds, I think, the Springfield Thunderbirds or something like that, I think, or the Blues. Are the Blues farm team. Anyway, like I was saying, there's a football game tonight. There's the St. Louis Cardinals are playing, and the Battlehawks are all playing at the same time. So downtown St. Louis is going to be a freaking nightmare tonight. Luckily I paid for my parking ahead of time. Looks like I only got 3 people watching. Like I said, y'all, if you want a shout out, I'll give you a shout out. I don't require anybody to do anything for a shout out. I would like to get some subs, or at least like my video, but if not, that's okay too. Anyway, so I'm on my way home from work. I got to go home, take a shower, get dressed, and then probably going to leave my house about 5 in order to get to the football game on time. And I want to beat the traffic, but the problem is that the traffic going into St. Louis is going to be freaking nightmarish tonight, and I have to go by a hospital and pick up my stepmom and take her because she's one of the 3 got to go surgery. All right, Hockey King. Well, thanks for stopping in there, man. Good luck, and I'll keep your thoughts and prayers for you for your appendix taken out. And be safe, okay? We'll talk to you again later. I'll be looking forward to seeing you. But anyway, so like I say, with all 3 sports teams, playing in St. Louis tonight, it's the traffic's gonna be nightmarish. Then I got to stop by the hospital to pick up my stepmom. She went to have it said 5 o'clock. She's having an MRI done. I think it's on her knee. She's got a bad knee. The next live will be, I may do one at some point tomorrow. If you sub, that'll give you it should send you a notification. But I try to do videos, twice, 3 times a week, and it's usually around 2:30 Central Time is when I usually do them, if I do them at all. Okay, thanks a lot. I appreciate that, Hockey King. Like I said, good luck with your surgery. And we'll look forward to hearing from you on my next live feed. But anyway, getting back to what I was talking about, the traffic and going by to get my stepmom at the hospital. She doesn't know how long her MRI is going to take. I'm guessing it's probably on her knee. She's been having a lot of problems, and so she's wanting us to go by and get her. But she did say that if it took too long, what time Eastern? That would be New York time. That would be 3:30, usually around 3:30, 3:45, something like that, New York time. Depending on if I leave work right at 2:30, which I usually do. I'm running a little late today on my live feed because I had to work over my schedule. We had some things that had to go out this week. If you go back and look at some of my other videos, I talk about what I do for a living. But it's all good. I'll look forward to seeing you on my next live feed. If you see me in there, it should send you a notification. It'll be good to hear from you. Anyway, so I'm hoping to get there to the Dome at America Center. They play it at the Dome, which is a really cool place. Hi Mason Shirley, how you doing? So they're playing at the Dome at America Center here in St. Louis, and I've already paid for my parking. But this season so far, they've given out rally towels to everybody. Like the first, I think it's 10,000 people that come in the doors. When you go in and enter the building or whatever, they've been giving out rally towels. And I usually like to get there early enough that I can get my rally towel. Good to hear that, Mason. It's good to hear you're doing well. Unfortunate enough, I think today I'm probably going to miss it, but I got somebody else that sits in seats. So I bought season tickets for the football game. So I have 3 seats, and so the people that sit in front of me are good friends of ours. So maybe I'll get them to grab my towels, and then when I get there, I just won't get any or something like that. I'm not really sure. But it's going to be quite a rush this evening. And like I say, I'm leaving work a little later today, so that's why my video's a little late today. And I managed to do, I think, like 4 videos this week, so I'm doing pretty good, I guess. I usually only do, like 1 or 2. But I think I did one, Wednesday? I think I did one. I did one yesterday, I'm sure. And I think I did one like Monday. I don't remember exactly. The one I did, I think Monday, was from home. I did a long video from home. But I'm driving today. Well, I got 4 likes. Wow, that's good. I usually don't get that many likes. It'd be nice. My goal would be like 10. If I could get 10 people to like my... You want coffee? I hear you. I had some coffee this morning. I drank... I went to the grocery store the other day. I usually drink that Death Wish coffee, but the Death Wish has gotten real expensive. It's like $16 for a 10-ounce bag, and that's kind of expensive. So I decided to go with a coffee brand called Mississippi Mud, and it's only like $8 and some change for a 12-ounce bag. So I'm making out like a bandit. So far, I like it pretty good. It's not quite as strong as the Death Wish, but it does the trick. It keeps me awake, or at least it wakes me up in the morning. I'm getting coffee, a new coffee maker on Tuesday. Okay, good. What, do you get more Keurig things, or what? You push the button and it, never mind. Anyway, so coffee's pretty good. And then I've been eating something called dragon fruit, which I've never heard of it before until recently. We go to Costco to go grocery shopping, and they don't... I like peaches and nectarines, but they didn't have any. Those aren't in season yet. So I decided to go with the dragon fruit. And the dragon fruit has a hole on it, kind of like a cantaloupe or watermelon, but it's not as thick. It's kind of like, almost like a banana, but not as soft. The peeling is not as soft. From Amazon, and I don't know what kind it's going to be. Okay, well, you'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, so this dragon fruit, and you cut it up in slices, kind of like you would if you were eating an orange or a lemon or something. Ugh, my mouth just watered. I said lemon. Anyway, so it's like, it's kind of a white color, and it's got little black seeds in it, almost like a watermelon. And it's really bland though. But I put some honey on it that has elderberry syrup, and mixed in and infused with the honey. Do you watch any sports? Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, Mason, I'm going to see a football game this evening. I'm going to see the St. Louis Battlehawks play the Arlington Renegades. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the XFL or the USFL. They merged a couple of years ago. They're both spring league football, and they're now called the UFL. So I bought seasons. St. Louis has a team, which is where I'm at. I'm near St. Louis. And St. Louis has a team that's called the Battlehawks. And I bought season tickets. So we have a game tonight. And the game's at 7, I believe. So you live in St. Louis. So yeah, okay. So you know who I'm talking about then. You like them too? Okay, cool. So I bought season tickets this year. So I'm going to the Battlehawks game. But the traffic's going to be a real nightmare, because we got the Blues are playing tonight, which I'm a Blues fan as well. I'm not really a baseball fan as much as I was when I lived in the Carolinas. I don't know, the Cardinals fans just kind of turned me off to baseball. But and I used to watch NASCAR. I don't watch NASCAR anymore. I have my own reasons for that. I don't watch the NFL. I can't stand the NFL. But I found a lot of comfort and joy in watching the Battlehawks play, you know, in this UFL league. Yeah, go Blues. You're right on, Ashley. But anyway, yeah, Mason, that's cool that you're from my area. That's really cool. Anyway, so I'll probably be posting some videos. I usually take a video like walking in the foyer area, or what they call the mall area before the game, going, you know, like when I get into the building. I usually I don't do a live, I just shoot video. And usually when I do that, I do it from the time I enter the building until I get to my seat. And you see a lot of interesting costumes and things like that that people wear. And then I usually do one like when the team enters the building or enters the field. I do one of the national anthem. And then I usually do like either the kickoff, the first kickoff, or I'll do the first play from scrimmage. So anyway, you'll get some video tonight. And then like last time I was there, they had a song playing. I think it was a Weezer song. I don't remember the name of the song, but and everybody had their cell phones on, and that was pretty cool. You know, when you get 30,000 people singing in unison with their cell phones on, it's really amazing. And it's really cool, you know, to see all the lights and everything, everybody responding. But yeah, so it ought to be a pretty good night. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. It's raining again. It's been raining like every day for the past, I don't know, week. At least sometime during the day, whether it's been the morning time or in the evenings. I'd like to get my yard mowed. I did get it mowed. I guess last weekend I mowed the front and the back. Week before that, or 2 weeks before that, I mowed just the front. So I was thinking about mowing my yard tomorrow, but I may not be able to. And my dad played in the NFL. He said it was super corrupt. Yeah, did he play for the Rams? Well, stepdad, yeah, did he play for the Rams? I know that when Kroenke took the team, he was having some contract disputes with he wanted renovations on the Dome at America Center or something like that. So the Seahawks, okay. You know, I was a Seahawks fan when I was a kid. Back when Rick Meyer, M-E-I-E-R, was the quarterback up there. And then but I was a huge Green Bay Packers fan too. So anytime they played the Packers, I'd pull for the Packers. But I did like the Seahawks. Anyway, so yeah, when Stan Kroenke, I said Bill Kroenke the first time. When Stan Kroenke took the team and left St. Louis and went to LA, a lot of the people here were really pissed because, you know, we had the Rams, and they had actually won a Super Bowl a couple of times. And the people, it was really funny when we finally got a football team. Like the first game, we had, I don't know, 38,000 people or something like that. It was incredible, the turnout. You know, and one of the biggest bitches that Kroenke had, he said that he didn't think that St. Louis was a football town. But I beg to differ. I've been to some of the games. Well, actually, I've been to almost all the home games for the Battlehawks, with the exception of maybe one or two. I think I was out of town or something. That would have been last season. And the fan response to the football team is just simply amazing. Hey man, I want to let you know that Jesus absolutely loves you. Yes, I know Jesus loves me, and I love him too. But I do appreciate that there, Tyler Wetzel. That's awesome that you're spreading the word that way. That's really cool. I appreciate that. Thumbs up, buddy. Anyway, so, you know, we get people, like there are people that, you know, dress in full costume and things for the game. We've got a guy that they call him Excalibur. and he wears like a helmet, and he's got a sword, he's got blue feathers and the whole 9 yards. That's really cool. Then there's a guy that walks around in a blue Spider-Man suit. He's known as the Spider Hawk. And then we've got a guy that all he does is walk around like the whole game. And yes, God loves all of his children. That's true. So he walks around and he wears a American flag onesie. And basically, I see him pass me about probably 20 or 30 times per game, because that's all he does is he walks the mezzanine area. And then there's people that, you know, they wear masks and they have wings, and they bring signs. It's just amazing, you know, the turnout. First of all, the turnout, you know, and the support for the team. When, you know, Stan Kroenke said, well, you know, St. Louis isn't a football town, so we're not going to stay here anymore. And then the activities that they have, last time they had like a Pee-wee flag football team out there on the field, you know, during one of the, I guess it was during halftime. And, you know, they got a DJ, and they've got like a hype guy that, you know, in between plays or TV breaks or whatever, he does a lot of hype stuff. And all the people right around me, they know that they know us pretty much on a personal level. The people that sit in front of us were hockey fans, or still are hockey fans. The guy's a big Blues fan, but we had a team here in St. Louis, or in St. Charles, called the St. Charles Chill, and that was a Central Hockey League team. Now the Central Hockey League is no longer a league. They were a one and done season with the St. Charles Chill, but they had like 10 or 12 teams, I can't remember. But we used to travel place to place with the St. Charles Chill. So I've been to Tulsa, Oklahoma to see them play the Oilers. I went to Evansville to see them play the Icemen. I went to Peoria to see them play, and I forget that team that was from up in that area. The Tri-City, let's see, what was it? No, it wasn't Tri-City. Quad City Mallards. They're up in that area. Hi, Mason Shirley. How you doing? Didn't I already say hello to you? Did you subscribe and like my video by chance? If not, I sure would appreciate it, but you don't have to. I'll give you a shout out anyway. I don't mind. And then I went out to, I've been out to Independence a couple of times to see the Mavericks play. And there were a couple other teams that, like the Rapid City Rush. I didn't get to see them at home, and I didn't get to see the what was that other? It was Wichita Storm, I think was their name, or Wichita Thunder, or something like that. And then they had the Brampton Beast. The Brampton was from just north of the Canadian border. So I never went. All right, you subbed. All right, I appreciate it there, Mason. But there was that team was like right inside of Canada, and I never actually made it to see them play. But I've been all over the place to see hockey games. It's really hockey is such a cool sport. You know, they're constantly moving. I like it when they hit each other. The fights are awesome. You know, stuff like that. So, but now the only thing I watch is sports-wise is hockey and the UFL football. I never really have been a big basketball fan, but I did back when the Charlotte Hornets, if any of you know anything about basketball, back when the Charlotte Hornets first, I guess the guy's name was Jerry Richardson, bought this basketball team and brought them to Charlotte. They built a stadium, or I'm sorry, an arena, Coliseum, just for that basketball team. And they played there on their home games, and I would go see them. Like, I had a boss that had season tickets, so I would go see them. Well, you know, Ashley, at one point now, the Bobcats were in Charlotte. The Hornets got sold to an owner down in New Orleans, so they were the New Orleans Hornets for a little while. And then they brought in the Charlotte Bobcats. And I don't know who the Bobcats were before they were the Bobcats, but they played in Charlotte. That's why they built that arena uptown, because that's what they wanted. And then they tore the older Coliseum that was built, like, I don't know, it was probably 91 or 92. They tore it down in like 2006. It was only about 15 years old. It was a really nice arena. I went and seen a few concerts there during the time that they were there. And then I think I saw monster trucks there one time, and I went to a rodeo there one time. So that was a really cool place. But anyway, so they tore that down. And so I had gone to basketball games, even though I was never really a basketball fan. Now, when I was in school, I played all kinds of sports. I played soccer, I played football, I played baseball, I played basketball, I played soccer. I was quite the athlete when I was in school. It gave me something to do with my time because I lived out in the country. My mom chose to buy a house way out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. So I would play sports, so that I wouldn't have to spend my whole, all the time. Like when the season would come up for each sport, I would always try out. And then when I moved to Pineville, North Carolina, I went to South Mecklenburg High School, which was kind of a ritzy, well-off, well-to-do, not high echelon school. A bunch of preps, and well, I guess they call them preps. I don't know what they call them now, but when I was going to school, they were called preps, and they were kind of snooty there. So, and I tried out for the sports teams, but I guess with me being a long-haired hippie freak, Gravedigger's still your favorite. Well, that's cool. Yeah, Gravedigger's still my favorite. But I guess they didn't really want somebody that looked like me representing the school. Not only that, but I wasn't exactly the best student in the world either as far as my grades went. And the coach that was the baseball coach that was there and the football coach was the same guy. So and he knew my reputation around the new school, and he didn't really care for me too much, and he certainly didn't care for my grade point average. So I stopped playing football, and then I was playing baseball for my church, Assumption Catholic. I was a pitcher and a first baseman for Assumption Catholic, and I hurt myself. I slid into a base and hurt my knee, so I quit playing baseball. And slowly but surely, I let all the sports go, and I started paying attention to the girls, because I like the girls a whole lot. I still like the girls a whole lot. Women now, not girls. So women. Yeah, so anyway, I was really preoccupied with that. And I think that's, I think back when I was in school, I had gone to, I had a real problem paying attention in school, because first of all, I didn't like it. I found it to be rather boring. I didn't see the point, really. And I honestly believe that, yeah, you've seen the pictures. I honestly believe that I had ADD before they actually knew what it was, or they had an idea of what it was. They just didn't know how to treat it, or didn't know what to call it as of yet. So I was kind of before that era, when people started, these kids started being put on, Ritalin and Klonopin and whatever else they put those kids on these days. Instead of disciplining the children and making them learn, because they said they had a hard time paying attention, discipline would have taken care of a lot of that. So these kids were put on medication. Now, I had two girls. Ashley was one of them, and my other daughter, my oldest daughter, Daria. Neither one of those two were on medication, but their brother was. Actually, both of their brothers were. So, it was kind of interesting to me that, the kids became kind of disposable in the 90s with that whole Ritalin and ADD and hyperactive disorder and all that bullshit. These kids weren't really, I don't think they had as many problems as they thought they did. I think these were just kids that were dreamers, but a lot of these kids that, did that kind of thing, they were so used to living in a world where they had to take a pill to fix something in themselves. They ended up using drugs later on in life, and a lot of them still do. And that's unfortunate that, they were taught that when they were young. Well, there's something wrong with you. We're going to give you a pill for it, I like to call them disposable children because a lot of the kids in the 90s, not so much in the 80s, except for maybe the last couple of years, but in the 90s, the video game boom took off really big. And, these people would buy their kids video games and set them in front of a TV with a console and a controller and would say, okay, here, go at it. And that just, to me, that kind of showed me that, parents of the 80s generation, the Gen X, they found an easy way out. They didn't have to raise their children. They let the video games do it. So as time has progressed, the kids that were playing video games, started having children of their own, so they call them Generation Z. There was the millennials, which were the kids of the Generation X. And then there's Generation Z, which is the kids of the millennials. So the millennials were the ones that were kind of, pushed off with the video games and forgotten about. And then along came Generation Z. And boy, those kids are a real mess. All of them are. They've got no discipline. They're entitled, because their parents, unfortunately, learned to buy their love, or, didn't take the time that, they needed, family time. And now you've got, the issue with families splitting up and things like that. So it's all, it's all a big, what do they call it, snowball effect, I guess you would say. It's like the more that generations have progressed, the worse that people have gotten, as far as common sense and, responsibility, especially responsibility. Kids today don't want to take responsibility for anything, which is a damn shame, because, when I was a kid, if we didn't take responsibility for something, or we didn't, confess or, fess up to mom and dad, if I'm the only kid in the house and something gets gone and they come to me and say, hey kid, did you take this? And I'm like, no. Well, they know I was full of shit because I was the only kid in the house. So there was discipline with me, you know what I mean? But as times progressed, the disciplinary actions that parents were allowed to take legally became, pretty much non-existent. That's why we have such a problem with kids today. During the 90s, it was all, don't hit your child and don't spank your child, because that's considered, abuse or whatever, physical abuse. You can't yell at them because that's considered emotional abuse. You can't, the only thing you can do really is put them on restriction and put them in timeout. But what does timeout really solve? That's like, they'll go out and commit crimes when they get older. Oh, yeah, just put me in timeout. I'll go to jail for, a couple of days and I'll be out. That's not how it works. It's not how it's supposed to work anyway. Dumb boxes. I don't watch TV much anymore. Yeah, I watch a lot of background TV. You don't take meds anymore. Well, your meds were for a different reason, actually. Yeah. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, I'm at home, and I'm going to go ahead and get off this thing, this dummy box, this one here. So you guys take care of yourselves. And like I said, I might shoot some video at the game tonight. I don't know if I'll do any live video or not, but if I do any live video, anybody want to shout out before I get off of here? If you want to shout out, let me know. Speak now, forever hold your pieces. I'll keep it on for like a half a minute more. Yep, I guess not. All right, Ashley, love you too. You guys take it easy. Peace.